Greetings, dear listener, and welcome back for another installment of Twilight Abridged. This chapter starts out with Bella dreaming so that Maya can blatantly tell you how special she wants you to think Edward is. Then Bella goes to school and bitches about being the center of attention again. She also bitches about Tyler trying to make things right, although she does not concern herself with making sure that he has healed completely. After all, she is a self-centered bitch. She actually tried to give more attention to Edward, then bitched when no one believed her. They didn't believe her because no one else had seen him at the time. After all, she was the only one who was unhealthily obsessed with him. Edward, showing some intelligence, stayed away from the bitch as much as she could, making her bitch about how she thought he regretted saving her. If only that were the case. Then she mentions the day after the accident, and bitched that he wouldn't tell her the truth, claiming that she had kept her part of the bargain. If you recall, the bargain was that she'd not tell anyone what had happened, which was all she had done since, besides bitching, that is. Then she bitches about how Edward doesn't pay her any attention, making sure to let you know that Edward's eyes changed color, because such details are only brought up when Maya wants you to think they're important. Also, she continued to have wet dreams about Edward. Also, the snow goes away because Meyer only needed it for the accident scene. Because Bella, doesn't like snow, it's doubtful the snow will ever be mentioned again. Oh, by the way, that one bit of snow was all we'd get anyway, because Meyer conveniently lets you know that it is March now, not having made mention of dates beforehand. Why did it now snow, only for a day or two, never to snow again? Because Meyer doesn't know a damn thing about meteorology. Moving on. There's a dance coming up that the girls apparently pick the guys to go out with, but Bella says she doesn't want to go. Jessica wanted to ask Mike, who's putting her aside for Bella because Meyer's such a bitch, and constantly reminds you just how special Bella is. But because Meyer's a bitch, again, she tells Mike to accept Jessica's invite. In biology, Edward takes a moment to inform Meyer that they shouldn't be friends, just for the additional bitching this would cause. After all, it's that much more simple to relate to a bitch when she's rejected, right? But anyway, she then bitches about him regretting having saved her, but he objects. Being the bitch that she is, Meyer doesn't believe him. We are then informed that Bella's truck only received minor damage, but Tyler's van was totaled. Because this is supposed to make us sympathize with her even more, despite her having no sympathy for Tyler. Eric meets Meyer at her truck and tries to ask her to the girls' choice dance, only to be turned down. Then, because Edward's a bastard and blocks her in so she cannot leave, Tyler is able to ask Meyer to take him to the dance, but again she turns down the request. Edward then drives away, letting Bella go home, where she made dinner. When Jessica calls to inform Meyer of Mike having accepted her invitation, Bella plays matchmaker for Eric and Tyler. Then Bella bitches about Edward's rejection of her and cries, blaming that on onions that she didn't mention cutting, but had already had simmering, which would have eliminated the crying effect. She continues bitching until Charlie gets home. She tells him that she's going to town, not wanting to ask her dad for permission, because a dad, in Meyer's mind, apparently doesn't have any sort of authority. And, in an effort to sound like she's done research, Bella tells her dad that, because her truck does not get good gas mileage, she would refuel in Montesano and Olympia, as well as Tacoma, in order to make it to Seattle. Despite that, it would be a much shorter distance to get to Seattle from Forks, by way of Port Angeles, and then taking 104 to Bainbridge Island, and taking a ferry to Seattle, which would cut almost exactly one-third of the travel distance. Her dad is concerned about her going alone, but she tries to claim that she can read a map, which is truly laughable for the aforementioned reason. Then Marge states her opinion that fathers who don't live in small towns don't take an interest in their children's school activities, and Bella bitches about her dad having asked about the dance. The next day, despite their previous conversation, Edward, who is the one to say that they shouldn't be friends, retrieves the key that Bella dropped. But, as expected, she acts like the bitch she is and ticks him off. And, despite their previous conversation and her being a bitch, Edward offers to give her a ride to Seattle for her planned trip. Then he explains that it wasn't that he doesn't want to be friends, it's that he says it would be better if that were the case. For those of you who are keeping track and know how things work out, this specifically means that he doesn't have much in the way of a regard for Bella's best interests. In any case, she accepts his invitation, and he tells her again that she should stay away from him, before letting her know that he'll see her later. Damn, Maya really knows how to write intelligent characters. Thank you for listening, and join me next time for another episode of Twilight Abridged, brought to you by the good people at TwilightSucks.com. Twilight sucks because within the sea of screaming Edward fangirls, someone has to stand up and say that these bullshit books are overrated.